Life and Accomplishments of Martin Luther King Jr. Imagine a world without equality, where a person's race determined their opportunities and their place in society. This was the reality for many Americans during the Civil Rights era. But then came a powerful voice that spoke of hope, of justice, and of a dream where all men are created equal. This was the voice of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. In this video, we'll journey through the life and legacy of this extraordinary man. We'll explore his early life, his rise as a leader of the civil rights movement, and the powerful impact of his words and actions. We'll examine the challenges he faced, the courage he demonstrated, and the enduring legacy that continues to inspire us today. Chapter 1: Early Life and Influences. Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia, on January 15, 1929. He was the second child of Reverend Martin Luther King Sr., a prominent preacher, and Alberta Williams King, a former schoolteacher. His father, who was a preacher, greatly influenced him from an early age, instilling in him the values of determination, courage, and advocacy for social justice. Growing up in the segregated South, Martin experienced firsthand the harsh realities of racial discrimination and inequality. His early encounters with segregation left a profound impact on him, shaping his views on justice and equality. Despite these challenges, Martin's parents emphasized the importance of education and instilled in their children the belief that they could achieve anything they set their minds to. Martin excelled in school, displaying a natural talent for public speaking and a keen intellect. He was known for his eloquence and ability to articulate complex ideas with clarity. His academic achievements earned him a place at Morehouse College, a prestigious historically black institution in Atlanta. It was there that Martin began to seriously consider the path of ministry. At Morehouse, Martin was mentored by Dr. Benjamin Mays, the college president, who was a renowned advocate for civil rights and social justice. Dr. Mays, who was a profound inspiration to Martin, encouraged him to view the ministry as a platform for social change. Under Dr. Mays' guidance, Martin realized that the church could be a powerful force in the fight against racial injustice. Determined to further his education, Martin enrolled at Crozer Theological Seminary in Pennsylvania, where he earned his Bachelor of Divinity degree. He later pursued a doctorate in systematic theology at Boston University. During his time at Crozer and Boston University, Martin was exposed to a diverse range of philosophical and theological ideas, including the teachings of Mahatma Gandhi, whose principles of nonviolence and civil disobedience would later become central to his own activism. While in Boston, Martin met and married Coretta Scott, a talented singer and fellow advocate for social justice. Coretta, who shared Martin's commitment to equality and justice, became a steadfast partner in his journey. Together, they would raise 4 children and become prominent figures in the civil rights movement. Martin's decision to become a preacher was deeply rooted in his desire to serve others and advocate for social justice. He believed that the church had a moral obligation to address the injustices of society and that faith could be a catalyst for change. As a preacher, Martin sought to inspire and mobilize his congregation to take action against racial discrimination and inequality. Martin's initial exposure to social justice issues came through his involvement in the NAACP and other civil rights organizations. He participated in protests, marches, and rallies, using his eloquence and charisma to galvanize support for the cause. His leadership and advocacy did not go unnoticed, and he quickly emerged as a prominent figure in the fight for civil rights. Martin Luther King Jr.'s early life and upbringing were marked by a strong foundation of faith, education, and a commitment to social justice. Influenced by his family, mentors, and the teachings of great leaders, he developed a vision for a more just and equal society. His determination, courage, and eloquence would soon propel him to the forefront of the civil rights movement, where he would leave an indelible mark on history. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to Learn English with Profi Jaimi. By subscribing, you'll stay updated with our latest videos and never miss out on engaging content. Plus, check out the description below for a link to download a copy of the story transcript and a worksheet to practice the vocabulary and grammar from the story. Your support helps us create more great content for you to enjoy. Thank you for watching. And now back to the story. Chapter 2: Rise to Prominence. Martin Luther King Jr.'s early involvement in the civil rights movement began in the mid-1950s, a time when racial segregation and discrimination were deeply entrenched in American society. King's journey as an activist and leader was marked by his unwavering commitment to nonviolence and justice. One of the key events that catapulted King to national prominence was the Montgomery bus boycott. The boycott began on December 1st, 1955, after Rosa Parks, a black woman, was arrested for refusing to give up her seat to a white passenger on a segregated bus in Montgomery, Alabama. The arrest of Parks, who was an active member of the NAACP, sparked outrage within the African American community and led to a call for action. The black community in Montgomery organized a boycott of the city's buses to protest against the segregation laws. At the time, King was a young pastor at the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery. Recognized for his eloquence and leadership skills, he was chosen to lead the Montgomery Improvement Association, MIA, the organization responsible for coordinating the boycott. While leading the boycott, King demonstrated great courage and resilience, inspiring others to join the cause. For over a year, African Americans in Montgomery refused to ride the buses, walking long distances or carpooling instead. The boycott put immense pressure on the city's transportation system and businesses. During this time, King faced significant challenges, including threats to his life and the bombing of his home. Despite these dangers, he remained steadfast in his commitment to nonviolence. King said, "Nonviolence is the answer," emphasizing that peaceful protest was the most effective way to achieve justice. The Montgomery bus boycott garnered national attention and highlighted the effectiveness of nonviolent protest. In 1956, the Supreme Court ruled that segregation on public buses was unconstitutional, marking a significant victory for the civil rights movement. King's leadership during the boycott established him as a prominent figure in the fight for civil rights and set the stage for his continued activism. Following the success of the boycott, King co-founded the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, in 1957. The SCLC aimed to harness the moral authority and organizing power of black churches to conduct nonviolent protests and advance civil rights. As president of the SCLC, King played a pivotal role in planning and executing various campaigns across the South. One of the SCLC's major campaigns was the Birmingham Campaign in 1963. The campaign aimed to end segregation in Birmingham, Alabama, a city known for its harsh racial discrimination. The protests, which included sit-ins, marches, and boycotts, were met with violent resistance from local authorities. Images of police using fire hoses and attack dogs on peaceful protesters, many of whom were children, shocked the nation and garnered widespread support for the movement. During the Birmingham campaign, King was arrested and wrote the famous letter from Birmingham jail. In the letter, he articulated the philosophy of nonviolent resistance and the urgency of taking direct action against injustice. He wrote, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere," underscoring the interconnectedness of communities and the need for collective action. King's leadership and influence extended beyond individual campaigns. He was instrumental in organizing the 1963 March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, where he delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech. The speech, delivered to a crowd of over 250,000 people, called for an end to racism and envisioned a future of equality and justice. King's eloquent words and charismatic presence resonated with millions, further solidifying his role as a visionary leader. Throughout his rise to prominence, King's unwavering commitment to nonviolence and justice inspired countless individuals to join the civil rights movement. His leadership, marked by perseverance and courage, brought about significant change and laid the foundation for future progress. King's influence on the movement was profound, and his legacy continues to inspire generations to stand up for equality and justice. Chapter 3: Key Speeches and Marches. Martin Luther King Jr. was not only a prominent leader, but also a gifted orator whose speeches resonated with millions. His most famous speeches and marches became pivotal moments in the civil rights movement, galvanizing support and bringing about significant social change. One of the most iconic events in King's life was the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, held on August 28, 1963. The march was a massive demonstration aimed at advocating for civil and economic rights for African Americans. Over 250,000 people from all walks of life gathered at the National Mall in Washington, D.C. to demand justice and equality. It was at this historic march that King delivered his legendary "I Have a Dream" speech. Standing before the Lincoln Memorial, King spoke with eloquence and passion, articulating his vision of a future where all people would be judged by the content of their character rather than the color of their skin. "I have a dream," he declared, "that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." King's speech was a powerful call for justice and hope. If King had not delivered that speech, the movement might have lost momentum. His words inspired countless individuals to join the fight for civil rights and helped to bring national attention to the cause. The speech is often regarded as one of the greatest in American history, and its impact continues to be felt today. Another significant event in King's career was the Selma to Montgomery marches in 1965. These marches were organized to protest the systemic disenfranchisement of African American voters in the South. The first march, known as Bloody Sunday, took place on March 7, 1965. As the peaceful marchers crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge, they were brutally attacked by state troopers. The violent response shocked the nation and highlighted the urgent need for voting rights legislation. Undeterred by the violence, King and other civil rights leaders organized a second march, which took place on March 9, 1965. This time, the marchers were protected by a court order, and they successfully completed the 54-mile journey from Selma to Montgomery. The Selma marches were instrumental in the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which aimed to eliminate racial discrimination in voting. King's ability to mobilize and inspire people through his speeches and marches was a testament to his charisma and leadership. His eloquence and commitment to nonviolence drew widespread admiration and support. He spoke out against injustice with conviction, and his words had the power to move hearts and minds. The impact of King's speeches and marches extended beyond the immediate goals of the civil rights movement. They helped to shift public opinion and bring about lasting social change. King's vision of equality and justice resonated with people across the nation and around the world. His leadership and advocacy brought about significant legislative victories, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. King's speeches were not just about the fight for civil rights. They were also about the broader struggle for human dignity and freedom. He spoke of a world where justice and equality would prevail, and his words continue to inspire generations to stand up for their beliefs. King's legacy is a reminder of the power of words and the importance of speaking out against injustice. In addition to the "I Have a Dream" speech and the Selma marches, King delivered many other powerful speeches that left a lasting impact. His letter from Birmingham jail, written in 1963, eloquently defended the strategy of nonviolent resistance and called for immediate action against racial injustice. In his final speech, "I've Been to the Mountaintop," delivered on April 3, 1968, King spoke prophetically about the future and his unwavering commitment to justice, even in the face of danger. King's speeches and marches were a cornerstone of the civil rights movement. They galvanized support, brought about legislative change, and inspired countless individuals to join the fight for justice and equality. His charismatic leadership and eloquent words continue to resonate, reminding us of the enduring power of hope, courage, and determination in the quest for a more just and equal society. Chapter 4: Challenges and Opposition. Martin Luther King Jr. faced immense challenges and opposition throughout his life as a civil rights leader. Despite his unwavering commitment to nonviolence and justice, he was met with threats, discrimination, and imprisonment. His journey was fraught with fear and anger, but his resilience and determination remained steadfast. The threats, which were frequent, did not deter him. King received numerous death threats and was subjected to constant surveillance by the FBI. He was aware that his life was in danger, but he continued to speak out against injustice and advocate for equality. His courage in the face of such threats was a testament to his dedication to the cause. King was arrested several times for his participation in protests and demonstrations. One of the most notable instances was during the Birmingham campaign in 1963. King and other activists were protesting against the city's segregation laws when they were arrested and jailed. While in prison, King penned the famous Letter from Birmingham Jail, in which he eloquently defended the strategy of nonviolent resistance and emphasized the urgency of taking direct action against racial injustice. His letter articulated the deep-seated frustration and impatience felt by African Americans who had endured centuries of oppression. Despite the fear and anger he faced, King remained committed to the principles of nonviolence. He believed that responding to violence with violence would only perpetuate a cycle of hatred and destruction. Instead, he advocated for peaceful protests, civil disobedience, and dialogue as means to achieve justice. King's resilience in the face of adversity inspired others to remain steadfast in their commitment to nonviolent resistance. King's advocacy for nonviolence was not without its challenges. He faced criticism from both sides. Some believe his methods were too radical, while others felt they were not aggressive enough. Nevertheless, King stood firm in his belief that nonviolence was the most powerful and effective way to bring about social change. He often quoted Mahatma Gandhi, who had successfully used nonviolent resistance to lead India to independence, as a source of inspiration. In addition to threats and imprisonment, King also faced significant opposition from political leaders and institutions. Segregationists and white supremacists vehemently opposed the civil rights movement and sought to undermine King's efforts at every turn. Despite these obstacles, King continued to persevere, driven by his unwavering commitment to justice and equality. King's resilience was evident in his ability to remain composed and focused in the face of adversity. He understood that the fight for civil rights would require immense sacrifice and determination. He was willing to endure personal hardships for the greater good, knowing that the struggle for justice was far more important than his own safety. One of the most poignant examples of King's resilience was during the Selma to Montgomery marches in 1965. Despite the brutal attacks on protesters during Bloody Sunday, King organized a second march and continued to advocate for voting rights for African Americans. His determination and perseverance were instrumental in the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, a landmark piece of legislation that aimed to eliminate racial discrimination in voting. King's legacy is a testament to his resilience and unwavering commitment to nonviolence. He faced immense challenges and opposition, yet he never wavered in his dedication to justice and equality. His determination and courage continue to inspire generations to stand up against injustice and fight for a better, more equitable world. In the face of fear, anger, and adversity, King remained a beacon of hope and resilience. His ability to persevere in the face of overwhelming odds serves as a powerful reminder of the enduring power of nonviolence and the importance of standing up for what is right. His life and legacy continue to inspire and guide those who strive for justice and equality in the world today. Chapter 5: Legacy and Impact. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy is monumental, leaving an indelible mark on modern society. His tireless work for civil rights and his unwavering commitment to nonviolence transformed the landscape of American social justice and inspired movements worldwide. King was tragically assassinated on April 4, 1968, in Memphis, Tennessee, while standing on the balcony of the Lorraine Motel. His death sent shockwaves through the nation, creating an outpouring of grief and sparking riots in more than 100 cities. Despite his untimely death, King's vision and message continued to inspire future generations. If King were alive today, he would be proud of the progress made towards racial equality and justice, though recognizing the work still needed to achieve his dream fully. King's legacy is reflected in the profound changes that have taken place since his assassination. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 were pivotal pieces of legislation that dismantled institutional segregation and ensured voting rights for African Americans. These legal victories were significant steps towards justice and equality, and they laid the groundwork for future civil rights advancements. Beyond the legal victories, King's impact is evident in the ongoing struggle for social justice. His teachings on nonviolence and civil disobedience have influenced countless activists and movements around the world. He explained that nonviolence was the key to achieving justice, a principle that remains at the heart of many contemporary social justice initiatives. King's emphasis on the interconnectedness of all people and his call for unity and empathy continue to resonate in today's global society. King's life and work also serve as a beacon of hope and inspiration. His perseverance in the face of adversity and his unwavering faith in the power of love and nonviolence inspire individuals to stand up against injustice and work towards a better world. King's eloquence and charisma continue to captivate audiences, and his speeches remain timeless expressions of the struggle for human rights. One of the most enduring aspects of King's legacy is his ability to bring people together. His vision of a beloved community, where people of all races and backgrounds live in harmony and mutual respect, serves as a guiding light for those seeking to create a more just and inclusive society. King's dream of equality and justice is a powerful reminder of the potential for positive change when individuals come together with a common purpose. The impact of King's work extends beyond the United States. His principles of nonviolence and civil rights have inspired movements for social justice and equality worldwide, from the anti-apartheid struggle in South Africa to the fight for LGBTQ+ rights. King's vision of a world free from oppression and discrimination transcends national boundaries and continues to inspire global efforts for human rights. In commemorating King's legacy, the United States observes Martin Luther King Jr. Day each January, a federal holiday dedicated to honoring his contributions and promoting his ideals of equality, justice, and nonviolence. This day serves as an opportunity for reflection, education, and community service, encouraging individuals to carry forward King's mission. As we reflect on King's life and legacy, it is essential to recognize that his work is far from complete. The fight for racial equality, justice, and human rights continues, and King's vision serves as a powerful motivation for ongoing efforts. His legacy challenges us to confront the injustices of our time and to strive for a world where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. King's enduring legacy is a testament to the power of courage, determination, and hope. His vision of a just and equal society continues to inspire future generations to stand up against injustice and to work tirelessly for the betterment of humanity. If King were alive today, he would be proud of the progress made, but he would also urge us to carry on the fight for true equality and justice. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to check out our next video for more engaging content. Don't forget to subscribe to Learn English with Profi Jaimi so you never miss out on new stories and helpful English learning tips. See you in the next video.